Welcome, everybody. This is the meeting of the Town of Rutland Zoning Board of Appeals for 6 o'clock. First up on the agenda this evening is, I guess, the meeting minutes of the May meeting. Do we have a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion or questions or anything to discuss on those minutes?
Not for me.
Not for me.
Okay, so all in favor to accept the minutes as prepared? Aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Hearing none, it's unanimous. Minutes are approved. Next up on the agenda for this evening is a public hearing for variance application for Adam and Lisa Foreman for the construction of a 25-foot by 33-foot prefabricated metal shed at the property of 127 Main Street. Okay, so are you folks the, all right, welcome, thank you. All right, so looking over the application here, looks like you wanted to put this 2 feet from the side lot line. The building inspector shot you down because you're not 10 feet away, so you're looking for an 8-foot variance within that 10-foot side setback. And did you guys see any hardships or what the reason? I don't know if I saw that.
I didn't. I think the only comment was that there's already an existing structure there.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
That's
There's
just
a shed there,
It's
substantially
already,
feet off the lot line,
it's
right?
already kind of non-conforming on that issue anyway.
Okay.
I drove by there on my way here. That's a tough driveway.
Yeah.
It's not
It's not the
easy coming
easiest
from this
driveway.
way, not at all.
I was confused. It's right after you go by, as you go by like the vet, right? And after and then there's the retaining wall.
Yeah, so it's right across from Rose's Barber Shop.
Right.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
It's hard to see up in there.
Well, you turn into the driveway and it's a hairpin turn to the right, and then you go up to the house and.
We did receive, to your point, Jacob, we received memorandums, one from the town planner. The planning board had no comment on this item. Also from the Board of Health, they had no comment because the property's town water and sewer, so therefore they have no concerns at this time. And also from the building inspector, Harold Leeming, again, echoing your point about the existing non-conforming condition of a shed there. That was 2 feet as well off the lot line right now. So that's pretty much the existing conditions. There's a little map here, plan here showing the property. Okay, written approval.
Is there a shed, and there's a fence there, and there's a shed on the other side,
Correct.
Yes.
and that's the neighbor's shed.
Correct.
And was there
Your house.
their house was knocked down,
Correct.
and then, so the other house is the lot next to that.
Mhm.
So that shed is does the guy who lives in the house that's still there use that shed?
Yes.
So he owns the whole lot?
Yes.
There were 2 houses, now there's one?
Yeah, it was
Yes.
her parents' house,
Yeah, okay.
and then they just put it into one.
Yes, there's a ton of space too between, so they have a nice vinyl fence, and their current,
On the lot line?
yeah, and these folks have, their current shed is, 2 feet from the lot line.
The neighbors?
Yeah, no, it's the applicants.
The applicants,
The
okay.
shed is 2 feet from the lot line, and then after that, they've got a vinyl fence. And then next to that, on the other side, is a shed that used to be used by this house, which is knocked down, and now the only other house is on the next lot.
Still need a
So there's no house right here, so this is the, you pull in, this is the driveway, and this is the house, this is open space owned by this guy, and this is the applicant.
Okay,
See
so
what I'm
what is
saying?
this house, what is this?
That's the neighbor,
That's the
that's
neighbor's house?
123.
Yes.
Okay.
123 we said was okay with everything.
And the neighbor's shed's
Yeah,
2 feet from the property line as well?
right. And this-
Okay, and
The
then
neighbor's shed
this
is-
applicant has a shed 2 feet from the property line as well?
Yep.
Wow, I guess that's the way they do business down
And,
there.
and there's a fence right here.
And a fence right down between the 2 foot. How high's that fence roughly?
I think the neighbors is 10 feet. It's somewhere in there, between 8 and 10.
Their shed.
The fence is like the usual stockade, privacy,
Okay,
White
yeah,
vinyl.
for the white vinyl, gotcha, okay, yeah. Okay,
one more question.
go ahead,
So,
yeah,
looking at, so you got property, you got 123 and 125, and the house at 125 has been taken down, and it's a combined
Yeah.
property now? So the owners of both properties is the owner from 123?
Yes.
Okay.
okay. The one question I have is, to be granted a variance, and this is from the application, so this is for the applicants. To be granted a variance, a petitioner must establish the following: due to circumstances relating to soil conditions, topography, or shape of such land or structures, and especially affecting said land or structures, but not affecting generally the zoning district in which it's located. A literal enforcement of the provisions of the zoning bylaw would involve substantial hardship, financial or otherwise, to the petitioner / applicant, and that desirable relief may be granted without detriment to the public good and without nullifying or substantially derogating from the intent, purpose of the bylaw. So, you, in that written description, you really didn't respond to that, so I just would like to hear from you regarding why this location that you wanna put this structure, I can't go anywhere else, like, what's the reason why you need this 8-foot variance?
So basically where the shed sits right now,
I'm sorry, Tamika, do you need the name for the,
I know who he is, thank
Okay,
you,
you got
but
it.
I noted it down.
thank you.
the way our driveway comes up, it basically fits as if we were to put the shed into a different spot, then the driveway basically wouldn't match as to where the garage would go. If that makes any sense. So if we were to go over, 3 more feet, I have a patio, concrete patio, and it would basically abut
Sit on top of
the concrete patio. So it's, a paved driveway that comes up to the top, and that would lead right into the existing, or the new build shed.
Okay, so your house is like, as you pull up your driveway, then looking at this, your house is to the right, you actually drive by your house
Yes.
to drive up to where this garage will go. You're saying shed, but this is like a garage, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's not,
Now
it's a,
it's 24 by 30 or something like that, right? It's like 2-car garage basically,
Yeah,
that you're putting in.
Chris, it's on the image that
Yeah,
was on the
yeah,
back.
okay, so that's picture what it is, okay, gotcha,
That's what you're using it for?
yes.
Yeah.
alright,
So
good,
that's why it can't be on the other side of the house or further back or what
Yes.
have you.
yeah,
Okay.
alright. Okay, does that satisfy the?
Yeah, I think it
The
does.
location and the requirement? Okay, yeah, makes sense. Alright,
Can't see it from the road either. Not that that would make a difference for me, but you can barely even see the property.
gotcha,
It's kinda elevated up off of, Main Street.
okay. Alright, any other comments from the board for the applicant?
I don't have any.
Okay, do you guys have anything else to say before we just open up to anybody from the public? And, there's nobody online here, right? I mean,
Nope.
okay. Is there anybody in the public that's here for this, particular hearing and that would like to be heard at this time? If so, please just state your name and address for the secretary. Going once, twice? Okay, it's nice to see a lot of people here, but, it's fine if you don't wanna speak. Alright, so, nobody else is here, any other,
I'm good.
everything's pretty good and clean cut and dry here, I mean, we are all in favor of, moving forward and allowing this. Alright, let me just discuss this, so you're asking for an 8-foot variance to be 2 feet from the lot line. Does that, I mean, I'm just warning you that, I don't know exactly where you're putting this building, sir, but just be real careful that a lot of times when people ask for an 8-foot variance, they might only need like 5 or 6 feet, it gives them a couple feet of wiggle room. you know, you're laying out the foundation or whatever you're doing there, so just be careful that if you're really planning on building right to that line, that 8 feet's all you got, so don't go over the line.
Don't go over the 8 feet.
Don't go over that 8 feet, you know, so give yourself a little room, make sure that's the right amount that
So
you're,
realistically, we have a 1 foot buffer,
okay, so you
so,
built that into it. Okay.
yes.
And you know what you're doing, so just make sure, you know, I hate to see anybody go over that. Create a problem if there ever was, and, you know, you might be back here in a much different position. Okay, anything else for anybody?
I don't have anything else.
Alright, I guess this time we close the
Motion to
public
close.
hearing, so there's a motion to close the public session. First, second?
Second.
Alright, we got a second from Jacob. So at this time, do we have a motion to approve the 8-foot variance?
I'll make a motion to approve the variance.
Alright, do we have a second?
Second.
Alright, any discussion?
I think it meets the statutory requirements and
I don't think there's anywhere else they could put it.
So certainly they're landlocked and soil topography is certainly the issue to do that, okay, alright. There's nobody else here to have a problem with it, so it sounds like there's plenty of buffer, the fence and all, everything like that, so that's great. Alright, so do I, all in favor?
I,
Aye. Any nays? Hearing none, it's unanimous, because we needed that as a 4-person quorum, does have to be unanimous. So, normally we're a 5-member board, but with 4, we have to be unanimous, so. Your variance is granted. There is an appeal period, I believe, correct, Mika?
20 days.
20 days, okay? So, after those 20 days, you'll be able to go up to the building inspector, and he'll be able to issue that permit after that appeal period. If someone does appeal it, well, then, you know, it starts a whole new game, alright? But 20 days from the time you'll clock that in tomorrow, I assume, or?
Yep, I'll draft the decision, Adam, I'll get it clocked in, and I'll reach out to you to let you know when that 20 days
Yeah.
ends, and then we'll be able to move forward after that.
Okay.
May take her a couple, 3 days just to get it all clocked in and everything signed off, and then once that's in there, the clock starts ticking on the 20 days.
Correct, yes.
Okay,
So obviously, as far as if I was to have the pad, I have to wait the 20 days before concrete can be poured for the,
you have to wait 20 days for the building permit.
okay.
Yeah, cause the concrete will be part of the building permit, so
Yes.
yeah, we have to wait
Okay.
those 20 days.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you guys.
You
All
gonna get it done before the winter so the cars can go in there?
Yep.
That's the game
Gonna be
plan.
nice.
Hoping, yes.
Yep.
Where the weather's been, you got 6 months, right?
don't say that.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy it,
Thank you guys.
Thank you
good
guys
luck with
very much.
everything,
Thank you.
thank you. Alright, thanks, everybody. Alright, next up on the agenda for this evening, 6:15, right, so we can start that.
We have 2 minutes.
I gotta wait 2 minutes, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, we're gonna wait 2 minutes for the next item, it's a 6:15 agenda item. So just in case everybody's here for the.
Sorry, I tried to, As close as
Can
I
we
could.
do the,
reorg,
we can do,
that,
let's do that.
yeah, okay.
Alright, so right now, I'm the chairman and Bob is the vice chair, and any other positions?
Clerk.
Clerk, okay. Alright, so I guess,
Still an alternate, we'll have to go to.
does
You can
anybody,
still
What are we
vote.
doing?
so,
Oh, I'll vote, yeah.
Yeah.
so we're just voting on who's gonna be the chairman, the vice chairman, and the clerk for the next, is it one, every year we do this now?
It's every year, and this just happens to be our first meeting since the beginning of the fiscal year. Everybody else did this back in July, so
Who's the current clerk?
I was just about to ask.
That's Lucia.
it's Dave.
Lucia.
Dave.
I'll vote to reappoint him.
I think he does an excellent job.
Yes.
Dave is an excellent clerk, right? Yeah, yeah.
Right
All
on the
right.
golf course.
Alright, so do we have to do this by motion or?
You do, so you have to make a motion and
Alright, so
second for
each one
for
individually?
each position, yeah.
Okay, so let's start with the clerk. Sounds like we're all in favor of Dave's remaining the clerk. Any, do we have a motion to make Dave the
I'll
clerk?
move to have Dave be the clerk for this year.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, Jacob, thank you. Any discussion?
Nope.
Nope.
He's an excellent clerk, so I'm happy to, we'll be happy to have him for another year. All in favor of Dave being the clerk next year?
Aye.
Aye, alright, any nays? Hearing none, unanimous, he's the clerk. Vice chairman. Bob Paulson is the existing one, vice chair.
Good one he is.
You know,
I'll make a motion to approve Bob for,
As the vice chair for the next coming year. Alright, second, thank you. Any discussion?
No,
Alright, hearing none, all in favor?
aye.
Aye. Any nays? Hearing none, that's unanimous.
So here comes the tough one.
Yeah.
it's gonna be real head scratcher.
Chairman for the committee, I'm the present chairman. Don't mind staying on, but if Art, you really want this job, not a problem, I'll endorse you.
No, I'll move that you be the
Okay.
chair.
Second, any discussion? Alright, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Hearing none, it's unanimous. Okay, here we go.
Thank you.
Alright, and I got 6:16, so next up on the agenda, terrific. Next up on this evening's agenda for the zoning board of appeals is the hearing for a use variance application from Mark Elbag Jr. for the restoration of an existing house for potential use as office space and or residential housing at the property located at 307 Main Street.
And I believe that should include, on the application was, along with the construction of a single-family house on the property.
That is correct, I did read that in the little application, you are correct, I'm not reading from that, I'm sorry. Yes, but yes, so the petition proposes to restore the existing historic house on the property to be used as office space and or residential housing units. The petition would also like to construct a single-family home on the property. Currently, there is an existing historic barn and a historic house on the property. The house currently has 2 residential units. The future use would be office and or residential units contained within the existing historic house, and then a construction of the other single-family home on that property.
Correct.
Thank you for clarifying. Sorry about that.
And just another item of clarification, so this will be impacting lot 1 on a recent A&R plan that was filed for the property. So it doesn't impact the whole property, it'll actually impact 11.69 acres at the intersection of Main Street and Kenwood. So it's
That front piece of it,
the front piece, basically the
like the
front.
U-shaped piece, I see you got it marked as lot 2, and that's a little over 17 acres, Mark.
Yes, that's the backland wooded area.
Back, yeah. Okay, gotcha. So just that front lot, okay.
So is a variance from the current permitted use of residential?
Correct, so this
Is
is,
this really all about the office space or?
I think the office space is really in my opinion, would be the one that would throw it off, and we can talk through this. But I understand this to be a use variance.
But the A&R, so really, the single family, the new one is not, the A&R is approved for that, is that what?
No, so this is in effect a use variance. In the meantime, since this was filed, the land was divided in half roughly. So this, I'm trying to buy the 11-acre half, and this application is for those 11 acres. So I'm looking to have a single-family house, and restore the historic house on the same property, on the 11 acres. Keep the primary use as agriculture, but be able to rehab the house for office space.
So Mark, are you cutting, so on that 11 acre, that lot 1,
Yep,
are you cutting that in half as well?
no, I wanna keep that all as one, and
That'll stay one parcel.
I want it to stay one parcel, the primary use to be agriculture, with the single-family house and then the historic house as office space or residential. So it'll be 2 houses on the property.
Is the barn going away?
The barn, I'm not sure, but it'll depend on what happens with the house.
Gotcha.
So what the driver is this is my grandfather's property, he's been gone almost 14 years. I'm trying to buy out some of the family members on half of the property, which is the farm half. The house is in really rough shape. There is a longtime tenant that's been in there since 1990 that I'm trying to accommodate a little bit as well. But currently the house, it's been neglected for 14 years because no one knew what we were gonna do with it. So it needs a chimney, a roof, the foundation's in tough shape, the plumbing's a mess, the electrical's a mess. So it probably will never be restored to a house again. the thought is maybe office space would be a little easier to accommodate in the structure. Less plumbing, you know, no kitchen.
Yeah.
And then maybe have a small apartment for the longtime tenant upstairs. So and even if this gets approved tonight, I don't know that it's actually gonna happen because it's gonna take a ton of work and a ton of money to save that house. But I at least wanted to know if I have the option. So being able to open it up as office space would provide me a little wiggle room and kind of funding to be able to save it. But,
And we have nothing to do with the new single-family
Yeah,
house.
that's my question. Do you need any relief for the,
yeah, I mean, it
Single-
would just,
single
it would
family?
allow me to not have to divide the property and keep it agricultural if it's granted. But I don't think that's a linchpin in this, and it also helps me fit this into,
Yeah.
you know, this is basically allowed under the current zoning in town as a home occupation, but I don't quite meet those thresholds because my square footage is gonna be too much and possibly the number of employees.
Well, there's two types of home occupations, right? There's a,
Yeah, even the major I would exceed.
okay,
So I'm thinking if the single family house is on the property, on the same property, it's more of a variance under that current home occupation use in the residential district.
So if we were to grant a use variance, then you would consider building a second single-family house on the property.
Yeah, the ultimate goal, if I can
Well,
come up with enough money to save the house and rehab the house, would be to build my primary residence on the property, rehab the barn, and then rehab the house to office space.
with the little apartment above maybe for
Right.
that existing tenant.
Well, and
Because-
forgive me, I think everyone else gets this, maybe not me, but
No, keep talking, we're learning.
the single-family house that you would potentially build you wouldn't have any office space in there, that would be your,
Right,
just be,
that'd be a residence.
so we really have nothing to do with that tonight. Correct, okay.
Well, yes and no,
Yes and
because,
no,
because he's adding it to this parcel with
Right.
potential commercial property on it.
I wouldn't be
But
able
he
to
doesn't need a
I wouldn't be
variance.
able to get a building permit for that house unless unless that's included in the variance language here tonight, without dividing the
You
property.
can't put two houses on one lot.
Now I understand.
So it's kind of a mix between home occupation and the new ADU laws, but it doesn't fit under either of those.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm here tonight.
I guess
Because this would no longer be a regular house.
Correct.
Yeah.
so that's why.
So in
That
theory-
house alone is fine,
Yeah.
being a house there, it's not
But if the variance is granted for the
for the
for the commercial, that's not really a house then on that lot, and
Commercial
now
property.
you can, now you can put a house on the lot. That's essentially it, right?
Right. And it kind of falls into the new ADU laws where you can have an accessory dwelling unit too. So it almost meets a few different zoning criteria, but it doesn't because of the square footages and stuff like that.
Is there any, you talked about that, I guess the problem is, the single family is really not attached in any way, to the ADU, but you were talking about dimension problems to otherwise fit in under that. I mean, is there a way to have a variance that is not really a use variance to address these dimensional requirements that are otherwise a problem?
That's a good point.
Yeah, to answer that, I think there is a way to do that, but I think it would be a little bit messy because
Well, and I say that just
Only
because
'cause
what
I
is
think-
messy is the use variance per se, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
think everybody knows that, so.
I had it highlighted here. Bear with me 1 second. So I think I need a variance on maybe occupancy if I did the office prior to actually building my single family house. A variance on the square footage of the home occupation office. A variance on the number of employees. And I think a variance on the square footage of the accessory dwelling unit. think those are the
Just
bulk of
trying
it.
to,
No, that's a great point.
Yeah.
It's a great point, Art. I mean, it's an interesting, look at it.
And then if, you know, if we do go that route, it does need a special permit, so I don't know how that would come into play.
you gotta get one and then the other.
So that's the idea. The idea is it's low impact development. It keeps, you know, the primary use of the 11 acres to remain agricultural. You know, basically,
Mark,
The
excuse me,
alternative
when you
is-
say agricultural, is that like was that 61A or B or something like
yeah,
that?
the land's in 61.
Is all the land in that or just a portion of it?
The whole piece right now, I think, except they make you carve out where the house is, but otherwise it's all 61A. It's all field or forestry land. So I actually,
What's that?
What's that?
Well, go ahead.
I was under the assumption the whole lot had to be in or out. If you build a home on property that's a 61A or B. That was my understanding, and honestly,
I don't know
I
what-
cannot prove that. My understanding, cause I have land in that,
yeah,
and I just thought that if I ever did anything on it, I had to take it all out.
Mhm.
Or I had to
Pay the abatement.
I had to cut it up into lots. I had to cut I had to take a lot off of it, create a new lot for that new home, and then leave the remaining in the 61. But then this new, acre and a half A&R lot
yeah.
would be a regular A&R lot, at a different tax rate.
Well, I'm hoping to keep it in 61A, and regardless of whether it's in or out of 61A, the majority of the land will remain open hayfield. So it
But
would
I
be,
guess what I'm saying is at that point, you're creating a new lot. And now you're not one lot. So if you were to carve a lot out, let's say like on Kenwood Ave for your new personal
Right.
residence,
right.
now that's a game changer. That's a different deal here. Now we're dealing with two lots. We're not dealing with one common lot.
You mean if you had to carve it out?
I think
Yes,
there's
if-
there's an exemption if you're a family, to build on it.
I know the exemption, and again, maybe so. I thought the exemption was that the right of first refusal by the town, they didn't get that if you kept it in the family. That was my understanding.
Yeah, I believe that's the case.
That's the exemption I thought. I don't know that you can. I was under the assumption that you had a.
to answer your question, I'm not sure on that. but
Yeah, no, and I don't know either.
I'm hoping to
This
keep
is
it-
just my understanding, and again, don't take it as, rule of law or anything like that, or, and then those things change too. That was my understanding probably 5-10 years ago.
Yeah, I'm
you know.
hoping to keep it in 61A, but if I can't, I can't.
Yeah.
But the intent is to keep it under 61A.
But again, I guess what I'm saying is, if you were to take, an acre and a half, 2 acres out, or more, whatever you need for that personal home, out of the 11, no, that's a separate lot. Now, he can do what he wants in that lot, and now the other lot remains a single-family home. Lot.
But it
right
might,
now.
I think you're saying that if that had to be done, he'd need another A&R for that. For this new single family.
For the new, yeah, he carve out a legitimate lot off of this lot 1A for the new home. And now lot 1 remains a lot by itself, and this thing of 2 homes on one property is gone. That issue is no more, because
Right,
they're 2 separate lots.
right.
And I don't know if that helps you.
Well,
I thought, I could do it that way, but then the other lot with the potential office, if it's granted, would be purely commercial. Whereas
Well, if you-
this would be mixed and kind of fit under that home occupation.
well, I guess, I
You're
don't,
losing the home occupation if you're
Because
not in
they're
your
not-
home.
yeah, well, there's two
But-
buildings, there's two homes.
I don't think it has to be in your home under major, it just has to be under 500 square feet, which I wouldn't be.
Okay, well, if that's right, then you could ask for sort of this dimensional variance.
Well, hold on, the 500 square feet pertains to the portion you're using of your home for your home occupation,
Yeah, but I think,
not your whole home.
I don't think it has to be in your home, is what I'm saying.
True, it does not have to be in your home.
Right,
It can be in another structure.
right.
Which is
If
what
you're-
you're talking
If you're a
about.
woodworking guy in a little barn out back,
Yeah,
you can do that in your barn out back, and that's that square footage you have to stay within. But if you've got a 4,000 square foot garage and you're just using you know, that little piece of it for what you're doing, that's all you, that's okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's all I'm saying, the house would be that accessory, the existing house would be that accessory structure. It just wouldn't meet the 500 square feet,
Why wouldn't it meet the 500 square feet?
cause it's bigger.
You wanna have a bigger office?
Well, it is bigger.
Okay.
I think the downstairs is, I forget, but I think the downstairs is like 1,300 square feet and the upstairs is maybe 9.
So your intention would be use the entire 1,300 square feet, is that what you mean?
For
For an
for the office.
Maybe someday when that tenant moves out, right now I would like to accommodate the long-term tenant. He's been there since like 1990, so I would either keep him upstairs or downstairs and then hopefully have an office in one or the other and then eventually make it all office space.
So the whole 13 and 9, ultimately the 24, 22 would be
Eventually.
all potential office, so.
Correct.
I appreciate you being upfront and honest, that's,
Yeah, it's just,
Yeah.
it's the only way I can even fathom saving the structure, cause it's just so bad, there's no foundation, there's no, you know, it's a timber frame from the 1700s. So, you know, even if I did save it, I'd probably need, at some point, might need like a little small addition with a real basement for the HVAC and wiring and everything else at some point. You know, I'm just trying to save the structure, that's all.
Yeah.
My father keeps telling me I'm out of my mind. Tear it down.
So that sounds like you know, the home occupation piece ultimately is really not what you're intending. I mean, you're gonna have your office in there and maybe other commercial tenants in office space there.
Yeah, and I thought, you know, my living on the property would help this board, which is the intent anyways. So that was the real reason to keep it one piece.
well, you guys are lawyers, so if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you guys a question. But I've
That's
never heard,
dangerous.
yeah, I mean, I don't know a whole lot about home occupation. I have never heard of a variance for, you know, more than 500, the 500 square feet for your home occupation. Is that something that can be granted and is granted in the state?
I don't know.
I don't know, I was only bringing it up by way of, you know, a dimensional, you know,
Yeah.
shape, dimension, so in other words, not a use variance,
Sure,
you know,
yeah.
on its face, not a use variance that he would be seeking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm,
Well, in the
just
square
to be
foot,
upfront with you, I'm really seeking a use variance.
yeah.
Right,
I-
I know, I get
I
that.
did do some homework. I don't think it's precedent setting. The town has done it in the past.
How does this help save the structure though? I don't understand that part.
It's just in such poor condition, it's gonna be demolished otherwise.
I believe, I don't wanna speak for you, but it's a financial,
Yeah,
to do kitchens in a residence is more expensive than just, you know, an open room office space like this.
So it's cheaper
bathroom.
to make it
Cheaper to renovate.
office,
and-
commercial office.
yeah, instead of, you know, kitchen, bath, bedroom, you know, I'm looking at open concept floor plan, paint the walls, put in rugs, maybe a couple cubicles. And then in the small section where I have maybe some basement space, try and fit in the HVAC and plumbing and wiring and everything else I'll need. Because right now it's a 1700s timber frame that's in tough shape. You know, it's a stone foundation, half of it's not even a crawl space. And it needs a roof, it needs a chimney.
And it
it has
so
nothing going
happens,
for
if
it.
we allowed you to do that, you'd be able to build your house on the same lot.
Right. But just, I did a little research if it helps the board.
Sure, yeah,
So that-
whatever information you have, please.
And, you know, whether you're for or against this, we don't have to get into that, but just, I want you to know, I don't think it's precedent setting. There was a use variance granted at 7981 Main Street for a restaurant and industrial space.
When was that, do you know?
Let me grab the date. Not that it makes it wrong or right, but at least it's not precedent setting. This looks like it was 2020. I have another one, this isn't a use variance, but it's a site plan review for car sales in residential zone at 540 East County Road. I have a more recent one that was a dog kennel in a residential zone at 147 Pleasantdale.
That was a variance?
Nope, this was a site plan approval.
I remember that.
This one is a approval of site plan, change in use from industrial to private and retail entities, 7981 Main Street. Vet clinic. This just says approval of variance, so I'm not sure what exactly the variance would fall under, but it's expansion of the vet clinic at 203 Main Street.
Yeah, that was just a variance on that, yeah, I remember that one.
And then this one's special permit, cell tower and residential zone. Expansion of mobile home park and residential zone,
That's all different.
and this one is site plan, yeah, this one doesn't apply, this one's industrial unit, so I just pulled a few quick that I could. But I think, you know, I was able to find another use variance the town did grant, so at least it's not, this won't be the first.
Do you have those decisions with you and they stayed their use variances?
Yeah, this is, I only found one use variance, if you guys wanna see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring that one up.
And I was told there was one for Bedrock Golf Course, but I couldn't find that one.
Yeah, well, we're aware of that one, but I've never seen that
I
decision
couldn't- Yeah, I
yet.
couldn't find that
Yeah,
decision.
that wasn't part of it. That was a long time ago.
Well, I'll pass this along, but there is an analysis section and it states section 64 parens 3M parens of the bylaw. I don't have that with me,
I
but
think I might have that.
states that use variances are allowed in instances where no permit is required, and then it says in this case, no special permit under the bylaw is required for this particular use they were talking about. I mean, if there's, you know, if our bylaw states that to me might meet this concern about no bylaw permitting any use variance, and that would help.
What section was that?
64, it may, of course,
What was the date of this?
this is probably out of date now.
64-3.
2020.
Like our current bylaw may have a different section, for
I
that.
think I have that.
Yeah, so I got it right here, so to authorize upon appeal a petition in cases where a particular use is sought for which no permit is required with respect to a particular parcel of land or to an existing building thereon. A variance from the terms of this bylaw where owing to conditions especially affecting such parcel or building, but not affecting generally the zoning district in which it is located, a little enforcement of the provisions of this bylaw would involve substantial hardship, financial or otherwise, to the appellant, and where desirable relief may be granted without substantial detriment to the public good and without nullifying or substantially derogating from the intent or purpose of this bylaw, but not otherwise, variances shall be granted in accordance with the provisions of MGL 4810.
That's the current bylaw.
This is the current bylaw, 21, correct?
No, I
This
think
is,
the most recent one was 23 or 24,
Do we have that?
but I don't believe we've since
Changed
changed
that.
the ZBA section since that time.
Not since I've been on.
No, it was other sections.
I don't think they've been
Yeah, so-
changed in a while.
No, they haven't been.
Some of it should be, but it hasn't.
Also, as use variances constitute extraordinary relief and should be granted sparingly. I know we've talked about that multiple times at multiple.
Yeah, well, but some of the one that I was on, where this came up before, it seemed like the feeling on the board was there just was no basis in the bylaw really for any use variance, and that kind of was the nature of the discussion. But reading this suggests there at least is this some limited right to a use
I
variance.
do feel there is personally, and I remember that one that was.
Well, I just need to see something that
Yeah, I mean, that
suggests
section there says, but I know there's other sections, like in the mass, like you're not supposed to.
We
Like,
had
what-
this with the marijuana,
Yeah,
with
yeah.
because there's a special permit required, so we decided you couldn't even hear a use variance. because the,
But so far, I haven't heard anything about a special permit associated
no, I would
with
agree that
this.
there's no, yeah,
Yeah.
so he's
So it's
allowed,
a special permit.
so he's allowed to ask for it, and we're allowed to decide.
Right, I mean, the rest of the standard is the standard, it's, extraordinary relief granted sparingly, can't be in derogation of the zone it's in and so on and so forth, but to me, the initial.
Still got a
hurdle-
hardship, so we gotta work through the hardship.
Well, I
with the
think,
variance.
I've heard a fair amount about hardship at this point, at least to me.
Okay.
I don't know how anyone else feels, but.
And I'm, this is just my personal opinion, but the zoning map in this town is just so, when it comes to industrial, commercial space, the town, they did a nice job with the center town district to create some, business, but there's no, you have all these little spot zones where existing commercial buildings were just put in when there was no zoning or anything, and now those areas are zoned that because they were there when they remapped everything, but I don't know, it's just not a lot of like vision to this zoning map. It's just whatever was existing got zoned in, and then people come up and say, hey, I wanna run my business right here or something. It's like, I have a hard time when other people in the town have all their businesses on these lands, and just because they were there before this update got done, they're in. There was no question, they got allowed. And now it's like this hardship or this difficult process to do the same thing on some other land.
So what would
I
this,
have a hard time swallowing that, I guess,
I agree with you. So would this be light office use?
Yes.
So,
The thing about a variance with the square footage is you're limiting it. You can't just go up there and put some massive building and go, lot line to lot line, right? If you're giving someone a variance where, you do a change of use, genie's out of the bottle.
Well, we could have some orders
How
of
would it change?
conditions.
You can put order of conditions in there,
I-
but
I thought about that a little bit, how would it change, just throwing it out there, how would it change in use where the residential use is limited to the existing structure, plus or minus 25%? It would allow me to, retrofit the building as an office, and then if I need a small addition for a real
Sure.
basement.
And not just what you're talking, old building like that, you
Right.
need a new building to put the modern day mechanicals in to
Exactly.
make the place safe and,
Maybe an
operate
88
properly.
Maybe an ADA entrance or something like that.
Sure, yeah, that too, yep.
use is limited to the existing structure.
And a 25% increase.
Why would you need that much?
I'm just thinking out loud, cause like I said, I might need an ADA entrance, I might, and then HVAC systems take up some space and, to do a new bathroom facility, it probably wouldn't be in the old structure,
Increase in
Right.
square footage,
if I were at that.
That would be an increase in square footage.
but that's what the wording would be if we did that, 25%.
And it's for discussion, but that's what he's proposing, and the language in theory, right?
Just a
we could say 15, 20%, whatever.
It's 25.
Yeah, 25 is,
Fair amount.
it's a good, out of 2,200, it's 500
It's not,
approximately,
it's not a lot of room,
550
cause
square
if,
feet.
if I need a real handicap bathroom
Yeah.
and a handicap entrance, and then I need all the HVAC stuff, it's not a lot of space. Cause I'm not starting with a big number.
Oh, I get that.
And depending how many levels it is, it's a two-story structure with the basement, so
Right.
if you're adding that on over 3 floors,
I'm not a
It's not a-
builder, obviously, luckily we got Chris and some other people that know more, but I think the part of the intent is to kind of keep that structure outwardly, the exterior is gonna be what it is in keeping with the sort of historical nature of it. So a 25% increase, is that gonna be done consistent with that idea that it's gonna be?
I'm gonna live there, I want it to look historic, I've already started cleaning up the property. The whole thing is I wanna keep that look and keep the land open.
Cause you could say something like that.
in my opinion, I'll state it too, I think someone who's, your own dad thinks you're crazy, so,
Right.
and he's been a builder in town for years, for decades, so, someone taking on an adventure like this, there's not a lot of financial,
I dropped my daughter off.
it's a financial risk,
I
to
dropped
say
my
the
daughter off
least.
on the way up here, he said he was coming up to help me get denied.
He's gonna oppose it.
He was gonna come up and speak against it.
It's not like he's trying to put up a
I know.
13-story building on Main Street. He's just, try to
The
keep
more
the
just-
character of the, I mean, certainly,
You just wanna, if you're gonna go that way, you want something on paper that says that's gonna be the idea.
yeah, and quite honestly, I wouldn't mind almost seeing like a site plan, something a little more detailed, Mark, about, you know, the parking, the drive, the entrance off the road, off the roadway, just something so that we're looking at the whole picture, not just one little piece of it, guys, you know? If
Yeah, that
we're,
would be
if we're
helpful
amenable
to
to
me.
this,
That'd be
you know,
helpful to me.
maybe just kind of define things a little bit where the house will be, you know, within a rough area, you know, not asking for everything to be nailed to the pin marker, but just some rough idea of overall what you're looking at,
Yeah,
you know, where the,
It's a good idea.
you know, I'd feel a little more comfortable with that
Oh, yeah,
before we
way
kinda went
more,
much
way more.
further with this, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Good idea.
you know, if that's amenable to you,
I just don't.
and I'm not trying to lock you into
No,
something
it's
too
just-
hardcore.
It's all unknown right now, cause I don't have that many employees, so.
Yeah.
The hope is that the business grows, so, you know, I would probably start it within the year, but I don't think I would build this out I'm looking at like a 10-year window.
I know civil engineers, there's about 9,000, not enough of them out there,
I know, I have plenty of work, I can't get help.
the people, yeah, like everybody
I have
else.
all the work I can do, I just can't get the people.
Well, so, but if that was about the site plan, you don't feel like you wanna do that, or can just rough something out for us?
Yeah, just cause I don't know what the build out's gonna be, and I'm certainly not adding that 25% right away. The first thing I'm gonna do is the roof and the chimney and try and save it and just make it like a really rudimentary office, cause there's only 2 of us right now and 1 part-timer. So I might even take the upstairs for a couple of years, try and get some employees, and then flip-flop the tenant in the office upstairs to down. But if I don't do something with the house, like in the next 3 months, the roof's leaking, the chimney's gonna fall down, the one snowstorm will take the barn down, the back wall's all blown out. It's been there
You
14
should
years.
take that part down. Just get it down.
Yeah, that's right.
I have a client in Worcester, they won't let him knock down a garage on his property, completely dilapidated, sinking in roof, we can't even use it because it's historic. He's gotta let it sit there,
Just
or
slowly.
repair it, yeah.
Wait, I mean, the alternative here is,
Who governs that here?
There's a historical society,
Yeah.
Is there some designation of the,
Those
no,
ones-
the alternative here is it's 5 house lots, or it's
yeah, no, I get it.
4 duplex lots, or you look at what is across the street and it could be 50 to 75 affordable housing units. So, I mean, a vote to support this is a vote in a way
No, I get
for open
that.
space.
Yeah, that's.
Part of it is we gotta make sure it fits somehow
Yeah,
within the
you gotta
bubble.
fit it in, right?
yeah, I mean, it's certainly the alternatives, and it's certainly in keeping with the character of the town, I mean, the property's been that way for generations, you know,
And it's an office on Main Street.
yeah,
Right.
which is not
Outrageous.
detrimental to the town of Rutland, good lord.
Like, isn't that where you'd want an office?
If it was light office space limited to the existing structure plus up to 25% increase in the same structure.
With access off of Main Street only for the office,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
You know, something like that, just to kind of frame this up, you know, so that it's not the Wild West over there,
Right.
but, you know, something that's in keeping with the intent of, you know, what office space should be and things of that nature, I don't know.
Yeah, even like parking to the rear of the current landscaping is fine. Everything's all hidden now by the landscaping.
All right, so any other questions for the board, for the applicant?
Not right now.
Mark, anything else to offer up for us
No, I don't think
now,
so. No.
before I open it up to the public?
You know, if abutters do choose to speak, I just want people to know, you know, a voice in support is keeping it the way it is. A voice against is, you know, it opens it up for development. I'm trying to buy it off of other family members now. You know, if I don't get it, either way, it's not staying the way it is.
Yeah.
Whether I get it or not.
Okay. All right, at this time, we'll open up the public hearing. If anybody wishes to speak on this matter, please just state your name and address and just raise your hand and you'll be heard. There's someone online, please do the online thing, you raise your hand on that Zoom or something like that, right?
Yeah, there's a
So,
little button.
little button, hit the little hand button there and let us know you wanna speak. Does anybody here have anything to add? Sir, you raise your hand first, I'll get to you second, sir. Go ahead and state your name.
Yes, my name is Wallace J. Massey. Address 311 Main Street, Rutland. It's adjacent to the Alberg property. And I've been there for 52 years. And I found them nothing but very credible, no, trustworthy, and a good neighbor for that long. I wouldn't, that's all I have to offer from. I wouldn't have an issue with anything he's doing.
Thank you very much, sir, I appreciate that. You were next, sir?
I'm Harry Spencer, 313 Main Street. I think this sounds like a great plan, Mark. I just have a couple of questions. So your office would be in the house?
In the house, yeah.
Your own office?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And then your house would be
I'm-
on Kenwood?
No, I'm
Or-
looking at right now, I don't know yet, but I'm looking at like the left side of the house as you're pulling from Main Street in the upper field.
Oh, in the upper field?
Yeah,
Okay, all right. And then the rest would stay in 61A?
that's what I'm hoping to do.
I think I agree with your dad, but, I mean, it sounds like a great
I
plan
hope
to
I
me.
can,
Yes.
yeah, even if I get approved, it doesn't mean it's gonna happen, but I hope I can get it there. At least gives me some options.
He's saying,
So he's gonna be up on the left side over here.
Okay, yeah.
Got it. So, if you all said, sir, is that
Yes.
everything? Thank you. Mark, just a quick question on that.
Yep.
You stated to the left of that existing structure, so looking at it from Main Street, are you planning on putting the home about the same depth, or would it be further back?
A little bit
than that?
further, a little bit further back.
A little bit
So-
further
So my
back?
grandfather had a nice landscape buffer around kind of his whole yard, cause Main Street's noisy. So I'm trying to keep that buffer, put the house behind it,
Okay,
put the red house would stay, and then any parking or anything else would go inside that landscape buffer between the two houses.
oh, sure, thank you, Jacob. Yes, sir, go ahead, please, name and address.
I'm Robert Liptak. I live at 319 Main Street on the corner of Kenwood and Main Street.
Okay.
I have a nice view of the field there in the barn. If you go through with this, allowing this occupation, use variance, will you be able to write in restrictions that there only be one additional house on this lot? The single-family house?
Well, to answer that question, an order of conditions can pretty much be just about anything, I believe. These two gentlemen are lawyers, so I'll just ask them, but normally, when you do an approval like this, you can add conditions into it.
I'm asking that you would add that condition, because
Okay,
from my figuring, you could put 4 houses, lots there if you wanted to, including existing, with an existing frontage and so on. So if
what is the existing frontage on Main Street, Mark?
I could,
Can't read that, so
I
damn
could
small.
do 2 on Kenwood and 2 or 3 on Main Street, then, if we open up the whole property, there's a bunch more.
You
on
put a
Kenwood.
road in there or something, you
And
could,
then-
yeah,
and there's a bunch more frontage on
that's,
Kenwood, the rest of
then
the piece.
sky's the limit there.
But will you write into this, your agreement with them, that there would just be one additional house, so there would no further concern about building on the end of the houses there?
Well,
It
that,
would have to be agreed, number one, even if we did wanna do that.
it'd have to be agreed by Mr. Elbeck.
We'd have to
Um,
agree to it.
No, I would withdraw.
Yeah, I mean, the potential there to,
That shows.
So I have one child
Dishonest in
that's,
there.
my kids are 11, 9, and 7.
yeah,
So, in 12, 15 years, I might have a son that wants a house
in that back
in
area,
that back area.
yeah.
And then I'm not gonna put $500,000 into an office to have it, not to have the use variance be void. But I would have to come back before this board to divide it, because the use variance would be on the entire 11 acres.
Why would you need a
So
variance?
why would you have to come back to us?
that was my,
I would think I'd need to come back because to divide it in the future, wouldn't I? If I get a use variance? I don't know.
Well, that's a good question. I mean, if we allow the use on this full 11-acre parcel, again, that's why, it opens it up, I'm a little concerned about that personally. But, then, can you do anything on this 11 acres?
But if I don't get it, I can guarantee there'll be a house there, Mr. Liptak.
But how, like,
Okay.
explain that to me, like how,
I'm buying it from family. There's two aunts, there's an aunt and my father and 6 cousins, so I'm not even getting the whole thing. I'm just trying to buy a piece of it, trying to put some money together.
Yeah.
They've looked at selling it to the town. They've tried to get the town to take it. They had an offer to purchase a couple years back with a developer. So it'll more than likely be sold for development or redeveloped in pretty short order. You know, the family is done waiting. It's been 14 years.
what do they need to accomplish that?
They don't need a variance to develop that property.
No,
I mean, they just gotta take it out of 61, pay the back taxes,
And
and then
They can do
they
what they
just,
want.
they just go to the planning board and put a subdivision in there, and they have to meet the subdivision requirements in the planning board. And if that 11 acres allows 6 to 8 houses, the 6 to 8 houses go in.
Just as of right.
Just as of right, that's R40, that he can build, he can put a subdivision in all day
That's
long.
what- That's what I wanted to know.
And he'll never have to come back to this board
Yeah.
to develop that as, or anybody
no,
can,
I could have building permits in a month.
yeah, you know. And then just to,
So
Create-
he could still do the same thing if we granted the use variance and he built his house there and had his office, but he might not want to because it's where he lives.
exactly,
Right.
yeah, exactly,
Right, if I get it, any future house would be my children.
Correct.
yeah. I don't think you
Well,
want.
I guess, and well, sir, do you want, you've been trying.
I don't know, I mean, it seems like there's a desire to keep it agriculture unless, you know, it's the hardship, which I don't see any hardship to answer you, but you can't make a hardship. But a hardship is being created, but we can discuss that.
So the hardship
But-
is saving.
But it's being created, it doesn't exist now, you wanna spend money on something and to turn have a hardship. So that's my definition of hardship, you can't create a hardship. I think everyone in the area would love to keep, especially that 5, 6 acres, closer to Kenwood. As it is. He's expressing that he wants to keep it that way, but he won't say, he won't build on it. Then
But it
why are
sounds,
we here?
it sounds to me like if he were granted the variance, it would be the closest thing to ensuring that a subdivision wouldn't go in there.
It's your best chance, I guess, is what he's saying.
Correct, for me to end up.
Doesn't own it at this time, too,
I don't, I'm
just
trying to
so you
purchase it, I don't
understand
know.
that.
But I understand.
There are other forces there to,
I lived here 40 years and every town meeting that I've gone to, and I've had plenty of town meetings, spot zoning was like biggest negative thing to happen in every meeting. This is what we were doing in spot zoning. And you get spot zoning without, it's both sides to the game. You grant it, what do you get back? What does the town get back by allowing spot zoning? If the town can get 5 acres of protrudes, you know, always preserved, that'd be great. But you're saying, oh, give me spot zoning and maybe I'll keep it that way. What are they giving up? Where is the negotiation? It's all win-win for them, nothing for the town.
I kinda look in the sense that what he's trying to do is put as little on that property as possible. And, you know, maybe down the road he'll have his family, but I don't think he wants, 8 to 10 houses on that property either. I think maybe you put one in for his kid. My only thing is if you don't, I mean, you could be looking at,
Well, I know.
8 or 9 houses sitting there,
More-
you know.
That's right,
I mean, if it helps any, we've built a lot of houses in town over the past 14 years.
exactly.
And there still isn't a house on Kenwood. So that goes to show you our intentions with that property. I have a 40B drawn up with, one second, with 68 units.
It's a lot more at 40B than that.
So, and that's.
So we get your point.
So, and what, I do have a positive recommendation from the planning board. And the benefit is, we're saving a historic house in town that was once at Putnam's, that goes back to the 1700s. So I guess that's the answer to the question.
okay,
Somebody,
do you have anything else, sir?
The woman in the back.
Nothing but the sand, really.
Okay, no, we thank you for your comment. You know, everybody's got their own points of view, and we're happy that you know, everybody can speak. Ma'am, you had your hand up.
Yes, I live at 299 Main Street. My name's Joanne Freeman, this is my husband Dennis. Our backyard is the field that you keep talking about, that we looked at the fence. We came to see what you were gonna do, because that's our backyard, that's our view. It sounds like what you wanna do. I'd love it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Tamika?
I'm gonna speak as Tamika of 318 Main Street and not in this position.
Absolutely.
Just as an abutter,
Sure.
to say that I would like to express my support of Mark's plan as well.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you. All right.
I like the plan, and I don't like and I believe what he says. That property's not gonna stay that way.
I mean, most
The town's not gonna buy it, just like they didn't buy the old farm where all those new.
town doesn't have the
all
money
those
right
new
now to go
places
buy
are
that land.
Across the street.
Yeah, it'll look just like it does across the street.
Yeah.
That's what-
In
that's
due
ex-
time, it's, I
That's
mean,
exactly what it's gonna look like.
something's gonna happen there, and whether it's homes or the
Mix of homes
over
and condos.
55 or two families or something. Again, my opinion, as we all have them, when families are involved, it's gotta go to the highest bidder. There's a lot of mouths to take from that piece of pie. They want the biggest pie they can to get the biggest slice they can. And that's usually, very, very often happens to those properties. It's, hopefully it's, if someone wants to come in and try to maintain, but yet change, I think that's the give and take. He's proposing a plan that's gonna maintain the existing character for decades and generations, while still building a place for his family, and potentially maybe another lots down the road. I can respect the, you know, if you're gonna spend, and you're probably gonna, I don't know what you're spending, but I'm sure they're not gonna give it to you for nothing. You know, you're gonna have to pay for that 11 acres, almost like a developer would, to that degree, so maintaining that flexibility, I can respect that too. Can respect this gentleman's wanting to maintain his, you know, to him, that's the beauty of the town too. But I think we all have to understand, raw land and the beauty of that, as wonderful it is, the person that owns it has the right to do what they want with it, within the boundaries of the laws and the bylaws and subdivision rules and regulations, and it's a tough situation.
Absolutely.
You know, it's certainly a tough situation, but I think someone who's here to maintain the integrity and spend the amount of money, I'm in construction, I develop property, I know that's gonna be an expensive proposition to even make it office space. That's not someone trying to come in and rape the land and maximize ROI on it. That I can promise you that. That's a fact, that's not an opinion, that is a fact. So I don't think he's trying to scalp that land and do anything too detrimental to the community. In fact, I think it maintains the community with good intention, but while still providing for his family long term, which I would do the same thing. I would do the same thing for my children too.
I agree with all of that.
Okay, so where do we go from here as far as, framing any kind of guidelines, or if the board
Well, if
is
we're
in
done,
favor?
there's a
Oh,
public
yeah,
session.
yeah, thank you, Artie, thank you very much. Do we close it or
Do
just,
we have somebody on?
You have to make a motion to close it.
can we open it up if there's another hearing?
Oh, if you want to talk about it another time, you would continue
Continue
the
it,
hearing.
okay.
Yep, if you're gonna close
we
it,
can-
then you're done and you're ready to
we can
make your
never-
decision.
Well, but I thought we closed and then we could have some more discussion on
Correct,
the
once you
board.
close it, it closes it to public comment, but the board can still discuss it as much as you want.
But
But
if
can
we-
we reopen it if we don't?
Not if we close it, we gotta continue it.
Okay.
So we'll need I would like to see a motion to continue the public hearing at this time.
You just have to choose a date certain, that's the only thing.
Okay. All right, so let's leave that open for the moment. I'm just gonna ask the public, is there anybody else that would like to be heard? Okay, so we're gonna keep that open right now, and we can still discuss
Oh,
on the board.
absolutely, yep, you can do that.
And so let's just do that right now
Okay,
before
all right, now I
before we
can-
commit to anything on the
Right,
open meeting there, the public side of it. So, what's your thoughts? What's the next step?
Well, just high level, I mean, there's, this whole scenario, I think it's the best chance for a less intrusive use, okay, and I mean, that's kind of the lingo. In this scenario, he's not gonna agree to a blanket order of conditions that says I'm only gonna put one house on there. But he's talking about building his residence. And again, I think that's, at least you've got a good chance that you're not gonna wanna put 5 more houses there. You might put another house or, you know, but not 7, not 8, not 10.
How many kids do you have?
3.
3. 3 more houses.
So, you know, again.
Not all of them are gonna wanna live that close,
No,
let's
they-
face it, I got 5, I don't.
Maybe none.
I
We'll see.
don't.
At a high level though, it's kind of it's the best option if you're trying to keep that,
Preserve that quality.
preserve that lot, or at least keep it close to what it's been, and in particular, keeping that building, intact.
So let me say this, to that point. How do we prevent this 11 acres from being just wide open commercial zoned? Because
Because of the
in all
use
fairness, you know, we could grant this use variance and, you know, they build a home and some tragedy happens and now that property's getting sold off. Okay, and now it's commercially zoned property, 11 acres. And to this gentleman's point, you know, it's not gonna be a field back there anymore to that lady's, you know, it could be, you know, the blue building over here with next to the gas station, get shoehorned in there. And that's, you know, stranger things happen, right? So how do we prevent that potential?
Light office space,
Right, but what you're,
That order of conditions,
existing structure
existing structure only.
only.
that's what
Plus-
I would say.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to work through, I just wanna make sure what we're doing is, you know, not opening up the whole bag of worms. I don't think that's Mark's intention, correct me if
No,
I'm
no,
wrong,
Yeah,
but you'd be amenable to that, just keeping it to that structure for the commercial piece?
yeah.
As they
Well,
just suggested?
With 25%.
Sure, with the little
But
additional
yeah,
thing on
absolutely,
it.
that's all I'm asking
I
for.
mean, and that again, to the comments there, that just keeps it kinda, we'll get back to you, let me just keep talking with the board here. Any other thoughts to that? Is that that's the avenue we go down then? Okay,
That's where I'm
That's
at.
what I would say.
it's
I mean, it's,
black ice.
I mean, I don't,
Just wanna
you
make sure
know.
we're on the thickest stuff. Just
I'd
wanna make
still
sure we're
like
on
to
the
see-
thickest
I'd still like
stuff.
to see a better
It's like the
plan
pond
of where
out
everything's going to though, like we talked before.
I would like to see a little bit more, again, I'm not trying to pin you down.
don't need to be a stamp drawn.
Right.
No,
Yeah,
no,
good idea.
although that's easy for him, but no, but just
What if we left a couple conditions like parking behind the existing landscape buffers or something like that? Any future parking behind existing landscaping?
with the entrance off of,
Yeah.
is your home entrance gonna be off of,
I'm gonna try and do it all off one driveway, yeah.
off of one drive, so it all come off of Main Street? then,
Yeah,
right?
and then split.
Okay, and then just, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Now it's almost like we're in the site plan approval at that rate.
Well,
I mean,
It is, it's kinda,
we
but-
could,
I don't really care about the parking, especially for if it's limited to the existing structure, I mean, how much parking is it gonna have there, how many employees, how many how many workers?
I would have to look at the regulations, but 2,200 square feet would require, I don't know, anything else.
well, but if he's agreeable to a less intrusive parking scenario, I mean, that would be easy enough to make that a
Yeah, I mean,
condition.
it's,
Yeah.
I wanna make it look good. I'm gonna live there.
Yeah, it's your home, I mean,
Well, one suggestion I might have is to continue the hearing and, you know, maybe you could advance several, you know, items that could become conditions and,
even like a rough sketch or something, a concept plan, maybe, or something that we could kinda have, you know, and again, not limiting where the addition goes, not limiting where the driveway goes, but just in areas, shaded areas of where you're looking.
Yeah, just like-
Just to kinda contain things, Mark, in that area, not let the whole 11 wide open, so to speak, you know, keep it towards that Main Street side, I think.
Kinda like.
And then we can frame up some wording, you know, the 25% of the structure addition, you know.
you show roughing, you know, the
Yeah.
landscaping's
Yeah.
here and the building's here.
You know, if that's something
Parking
you
would
could,
be
Yeah, we
here
can do that.
and stuff like
you
that.
know,
Just like rough clouded areas of
Yeah,
that's all. I'm not,
schematic, yep.
not asking for contours and
Yep.
drainage and, you know, the whole thing. That house has been there for 100-something years or whatever it's been, you know,
Yes, it's
I mean,
late 1700s, I think.
it's 1700s, good lord. I don't think we need a drainage plan for that.
Yeah, no.
Things survived
I think it
200
just goes right through the
something,
building.
dang years. Yeah, okay. Alright, any other comments here, and?
No.
Okay, so this gentleman wanted to have one more comment, yes, sir.
Well, were you looking at this as a major home occupation, a variance on that, or something completely different?
Let's see, be a use variance permitting that limited sort of commercial use.
Yeah.
You have a major home occupation, a minor home occupation, they're pretty well detailed, especially the major one. Can his use be detailed just like a major home occupation for reference, you know, that type of detail you're looking for from Mr. Elbag for what he plans?
I don't know, we asked that question, I asked that question earlier about can a variance be given to the home occupation? And
For the size of it.
for the size of it, and
I'm just saying.
I don't,
Whatever you're doing, I'm not sure what you call it, but can the detail be just like the home occupation as a detail?
oh, to mirror that.
You know, mirror that, you know, it says someone this, whatever.
And that's not a bad idea, we could look at the home occupation and just see if any of those things would help us, you know, keep this in a box, you know what I'm saying? Mark, I mean, that's not a bad idea,
No, that
you
would
know,
work.
you know,
Is it a negative thing to ask that, since he says he's gonna live in the new house he's gonna build there, that he is gonna live in the new house to build there? I mean, I'm not saying that he's not, but you have no guarantee of that.
no, there's no guarantee, and that was my point earlier, that, you know, any tragedy could happen to Mr. Elbag or his family, and then now the property goes, I mean, every property will go up for sale ultimately. And that's what we're trying to work through right now, that this doesn't become 11 acres of, you know, commercial property. We're trying to limit this, and that's why, these gentlemen brought up a great idea of just limiting the use to that existing old home structure. And, you know, with that little 25% thing to clean it up. And then, so we're not letting the whole property, you know, the whole thing go wide open there, but, and I think that's an excellent, that seems to be what he's looking for. I think that's a great plan, we're gonna try to frame it around that, to limit it to that structure. And, you know, the integrity of the town stays what it is, and he's getting his use, you know, and, you know, it's income for the town too, you know, from that point of view, a little commercial piece. So it's a win-win, I think, for a lot of people in a lot of ways. And, you know, that thing's not getting blown open to development, and we're just gonna maintain it to that structure. So that's what we're trying to work through and frame up, okay?
And in answer to your question too, we can't make an order that he live in the house, cause obviously he could sell the house the week after he builds it and lives there for a week, he could sell it, we can't prevent him from doing that.
A lot of this, and I don't know how to frame it, it goes on faith that he's gonna do the right thing, that's really what you're saying. There's nothing that.
No, I don't think we're relying on faith at all, we're relying on an order of conditions that'll dictate the use of the existing structure. His home will be a single-family home. If he moves out 2 weeks after he builds it, another family's gonna move into it, but it's gonna be a single-family
The
home.
part we're talking about historical preservation, and that's just gonna be faith, there's nothing that.
Well, I mean, there will be a condition
Not a
that
single
it's,
thing.
he's gotta leave the structure or make it conform to what it looks like presently. I mean, there's gonna be something like that.
Not to be like too, I don't wanna come off argumentative when I say this, but why would he be here? Why would he not have just flattened the thing? Like, if he didn't wanna preserve the property, like that question is just hard for me to understand. I'm sorry, not to be,
I've
you
seen a
know,
lot of crazy things happen in this town, I'm sure you have.
well, I know
Right?
truth is stranger than fiction, but I gotta be honest with you.
Look
Chris,
across the street.
even if this gets approved,
Look across the
there's a
street.
very good chance this might not even happen.
Right.
This house is so bad, there's a very good chance this won't even happen.
Yeah, you still gotta do,
I
Well, and
still,
you've gotta,
Still gotta go through the process.
you could have a variance and not work it out with your relatives
yeah,
anyway.
and
exactly. That's-
start putting money into it and say this is nuts and.
Which I could, you know, I mean,
It's,
as of right, they, you know, if the relatives say, well, we could get more if we just tear it down, and put in the subdivision.
Even aside from the relatives, even if I do get it, that house is so bad, there's a good chance I won't be able to afford what I wanna do.
And not do it.
Exactly, it just may not be feasible to put all the money that's
It-
gonna
it is-
need.
It's bad.
No, I mean,
I'm basically there, I don't think it's a bad idea at all, but I also don't think that getting a little more info
would be a bad thing.
Yeah, I think whatever the conditions are, we need to be a little more informed, both ourselves legally, frankly.
Yeah, give us a little time to do some homework, kinda,
Yeah.
you know, get a better grip on framing this thing up, okay? Give you a little time to show a little more, not detail, but just a little more concept,
Yep.
okay? And we can all think it through a little bit and, you know, continue this for another day and, hopefully final discussion and give you some more direction there, a little more detail. So at this point, is there any more comments from the public by any chance for this evening? Okay, can I get a motion to continue the public, hearing session of this?
So moved.
Already
We have to
second?
Continue it to a date certain.
Okay, alright, so stop right there. Alright, so what is a date that, we can do, come back and, how much time do you need, Mark, and
I don't need time, it's more,
when you're
I
available?
gotta get going and either do the roof and chimney or let it go.
But when can you come back
I
next?
can come back anytime.
How much time do we have to post this, or we don't?
So I just posted like a regular agenda within 48 hours. So we could technically meet next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday,
If you
well,
guys were
let's-
available.
what do you guys got next Wednesday?
I can make it work.
I can't, I'm sorry, got a banquet.
Actually, the problem is I think
Wait, is it next
I need all four at this point, right?
No, I can do next Wednesday.
Cause the others won't be able to vote, right?
They could if they
Well, they
watched
could.
it and signed the Mullins
Oh, if they
with
watch it.
Anita, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I can do
We
it.
have two members that weren't here tonight.
I'm good next Wednesday, you're good next Wednesday, you're good?
Good next one.
So the four of us are good next Wednesday,
Yeah,
alright, let's do it next Wednesday.
Oh wait, Jake can do it?
Yep,
Yeah, I can,
Okay,
you're correct, yep, you
I
good?
can, yeah.
okay, so October 15th at 6 p.m. Is that
Yep.
okay?
6 P M, yep, right, everybody, 6 P M, yep. Alright, and, alright, so, do I have a motion to continue the public meeting session until October 16th at 6 P M?
I'll make the motion.
15th.
15th, so sorry.
That's okay.
We do have a motion for the 15th, he was ahead of me, he was always smarter than me growing up. Do we have a second?
It's my wife's birthday, but I don't make the motion.
We have a second with Jacob. Alright, any discussion on that point? Okay, hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Hearing any nays, hearing none, it's unanimous. We continue this until then.
Okay.
thank you guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Appreciate the
thank you,
time.
everybody, appreciate you coming down and speaking up and
Yeah, I appreciate you.
giving us the input. Great to hear it, it really is.
What's happening in the backyard?
Thank you.
Okay, so that's continued till then.
That's it, yep. So
And then, any other business we have for this evening?
Say, oh, you know.
Okay, so at this point, I'll just listen for a motion to close this
So
close this meeting for tonight.
yeah, we can adjourn.
Alright, have we have a motion to close the meeting tonight?
motion to close.
Second, 1 and 2 right here, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any nays? None, unanimous, closed. Okay.
But I like what you said at the end.
To the existing building.
I mean, this is the best case scenario.